What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Celtics Talk Weekly. I am your host, Rob. I am with my two co-hosts, Ian Angelo and Justin Lowe. I'm super excited to get back into it. It's been way too long since we last recorded a podcast. Actually, it's been so long. The last time we recorded a podcast, we weren't even at 350 followers yet. Now we are approaching 600 on Instagram. So First of all, I just want to say thank you. Support's been crazy. This is our first episode on our YouTube channel as well. So we're super excited about that. Um, I
Should
say
be
that
our second episode on YouTube, by the way.
but we
'Cause
recorded an episode last week and we lost the file. I lost the file. But I'm going to say this. I say it every episode. If for some reason you're not following us on our social medias, go do that right away. Pause the podcast, go do it, come back and restart it up. We got a fun one. Like I said, it's been a long time since we started a podcast or we've done a podcast episode. So we got a lot to talk about. And one of those things is what we have in the week ahead. The Boston Celtics in their summer league squad is in the championship, different format this year. It is just the two teams with the best record instead of the bracket tournament. Some fans are disappointed. However, C's fans aren't because we are in the championship game against the Sacramento Kings on Tuesday, which would be tonight because that's when you'll be listening to it. 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on ESPN. Boys, what are you expecting out of the C squad?
I'm expecting him to take it home. Peyton Pritchard, or, Jesus reincarnated, is coming back. So, honestly, I feel like we're taking it home, man. The Celtics have just been absolutely insane in the Summer League. I didn't really expect much when I first watched the Celtics in the first place, but coming in and seeing all the games and it's not just one player dominate the entire thing, the entire team has been on fire. So I expect the Celtics to win and take home the first Summer League championship in Celtics history.
Yeah, I'm super excited for that. I think everyone's really exceeded expectations. I mean, I didn't think we'd be, I knew we would be good. I thought we would compete. I thought we were ready for it. But I'm just been so blown away at how we've won these games. I mean, blowout after blowout after blowout. And then, holding teams, I don't think, even though they're only 10-minute quarters, holding teams to under 85 points, which is just amazing. And then on top of that, the Celtics are just averaging, I think it was like 105 points a game, something like that. Yeah. And our point differential was a plus 21. So we've averaged over the 4 games, we've averaged beating teams by over 20. So that's, you really couldn't, and everyone's healthy too. So you really couldn't ask for a better Summer League win or lose in the championship game.
And you know what? Obviously, in terms of Summer League, I'm not always looking for the team win, right? The record really isn't always the most important thing in the Summer League. It's kind of just seeing these guys who you're looking to develop and improve and see how they've come along. And the great part about this Summer League is we've seen so much improvement from guys like Langford, Nesmith, and Pritchard. Pritchard looks like a completely new player. And, obviously it's the Summer League. He probably shouldn't have been here to begin with. I think if he had a Summer League his rookie year, he probably wouldn't have been here. Same with Nesmith. But it's just so refreshing as Celtics fans to see these young guys kind of step up and, play some really, really good basketball at a stage where, they should be playing great basketball. So I think it's super exciting. And that does bring us to our next topic, which is Peyton Pritchard. Peyton Pritchard has been making the news recently over his past week of just amazing basketball. He dropped 92 points in a Pro-Am game in Oregon. And then to follow it up, he dropped 65 in the following game in Oregon. I mean, this man has been on a complete tear. Now, I got a question for you guys. Can Peyton Pritchard be a legitimate player and piece for the Boston Celtics next season?
Yeah, I think he can. He did it. I mean, we saw glimpses of it last season. We've seen it here in the Summer League. And think of it, he's doing that as the, quote, ace in Summer League. I think that'd be just amazing, and I think he can. I think he's capable of doing that, come regular season. And I don't think people understand how valuable that really is, where the Celtics don't really have a lot of bench depth. I mean, obviously a lot, more bench depth this year than last year, but for Peyton Pritchard, if he can consistently play like this and stay healthy, Celtics really have a bright future with Peyton Pritchard.
I 100% agree with Justin. We saw it last year, even before his injury. Like, we were talking, like, is Peyton Pritchard becoming one of the best players on this team in the first place? Before he went down with the injury. I remember when he had the game winner against Miami, and, like, that was, like, the peak of, like, when we thought Pritchard was going to be the next up. And, I mean, just the way that he can shoot the ball from literally anywhere is probably going to keep him in the league for a long time. And I feel like he's going to contribute on the Celtics team, whether it's handling the ball on the second unit where, you got the other bench guys that he's going with, or, maybe if he's that good and he becomes a really, really good player, he could even start for us at one point. Now, that's the best case scenario, but I really think Peyton Pritchard can find and have a legitimate role on the Celtics team.
Well, it's interesting too because if you look at the way this team right now is constructed, the way Brad has constructed it, everyone's on a 1-year deal besides Horford, Tatum, and Brown. So you got to think, if Peyton Pritchard can prove to us something that he can be a legitimate piece this season, which I think he can be. I don't think, however, he's going to have the opportunity to really like immerse as this real piece. I think he'll kind of always for this season he'll be that that bench piece, that 6-man kind of role. Even still 6-man might be a little high for him. But I think it's a great opportunity now because like I said, next season the Boston Celtics have no one on the books, right? The next offseason, we could totally either be in for a sign everyone back and run it back or a complete new look in the roster. So I think Peyton Pritchard, whether he's a piece or not, whenever he's on the court, he has to make sure that, he's, making something of his time. And I know Justin and I at least have been, saying this over and over again in the pregame shows, the scoring isn't always going to be there for Pritchard in a real NBA game, right? In the summer league, it will be. But, when you step onto the court in a real NBA game, there's going to be some games in your second year where, your shot's not falling, where, you can't seem to buy a bucket. So Peyton Pritchard needs to find a way to make a difference other than scoring. And right now in the summer league, we've seen that by his playmaking, I think.
Yeah, I mean, he averages, I think it's 8 assists a game right now in the summer league. And, guys, he just gets guys going around him before he gets going. And that's like I said, I've said this before too, like his scoring is like the cherry on top because he can play make. I mean, look at that game Aaron Nesmith had the other night against Denver, right? I was editing the highlight reel together. I was just noticing how many of Aaron's baskets came from the assist of Peyton Pritchard, and a lot of pick and roll action is from Peyton Pritchard, and he's very good in the pick and roll. Him and Robert Williams. How many times did we see him and Robert Williams connect on a pick and roll alley-oop pass, right? So I think his playmaking is just going to be super crucial, and that could be a big reason as to why he might get minutes in the rotation. What we have to understand is we don't know who's going to get big or minimum minutes in the rotation because Imi's in charge now, right? And Ime hasn't had what Danny didn't really have control in how many minutes Isaiah Thomas would play. Yeah, it would be completely Brad Stevens' responsibility. That reports have come out now where it's like Brad Stevens, although he was the head coach at one time, now he's not anymore. So he's not going to have any responsibility. His job is to construct this roster. And Ime, his job is to find these players and put the puzzles in the correct spots.
And you know what I'm super interested in seeing is Ime is a super, super defensive-minded coach, right? You can tell Ime and Brad has been talking about how they want to build this roster because look at who they've brought on. Horford, Richardson, Dunn, Fernando, and Schroeder, who we're going to get to in a little bit. Those guys are all defensive guys, right? That's what they do. So I'm interested to see whether or not, because Pritchard lacks that size, lacks, that defensive build, whether or not, if that's going to affect his time.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure how many legitimate minutes Pritchard will have. I think it just determines on whether he's going to be hot or shooting or not. Because, we've seen that Peyton Pritchard, we can have him off the bench, and he can go off for maybe like a solid like 10 points, and
We've seen him
and then
get
he's back
20.
on
We've
the
seen him
bench.
get 20.
Yeah, definitely. So like he can. I feel like Ime, even though he's not, I don't. Sorry, I'm not 100% sure what he's going to do with Pritchard, but
Yeah.
I feel like just having Pritchard and having the potential of a guy that you can just have off the bench and start scoring when the rest of the team can't score is
Yeah.
something that Ime will value, whether that means he gets minutes or not.
Well, on the conversation of point guards and defensive minded in this offseason, we have a signing that we haven't talked about we've talked about on our pregame show. Go check that out on our YouTube channel right here. And that's Dennis Schroeder. The Boston Celtics signed Dennis Schroeder to a 1-year, $5.9 mid-level exception contract, which is a complete steal. Whether you like Dennis Schroeder or not, he is not a $5.9 million player by any means. He averaged, what was this? I don't have his actual stats on it. I want to say 16 points per game last year for the Lakers as the third option. What type of impact will Dennis Schroeder make for the Boston Celtics next season?
Big impact on both ends, big impact mentally. He's known to be a very vocal, emotional leader. I think a lineup of him, Smart, we could see a lineup of him, Smart, and Richardson in one lineup, which is scary. It's very
Yeah,
scary.
yeah.
It's very intimidating as well. I think, in like you said, love him or hate him, to get him for $5 million when he turned down an offer for almost, what was it, 84 million, almost $100 million he turned down.
21 a year.
And this could have nothing to do with LeBron James or Anthony Davis. But if you think of it this way, where I saw a tweet where it's like, if you really think deep down about it, Dennis Schroeder turned down almost $100 million to play with LeBron James and Anthony Davis and almost guarantee a championship. He turned that down to come play with Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum.
Yeah.
It goes a long way. I think he's going to be huge. And him and Horford, I think people are forgetting, him and Horford have had chemistry. They led the team along with Paul Millsap in 2015 when the Hawks were like 60-22 or something like that. So I think that's definitely huge. He's going to be a huge impact for this team.
So I hate to interrupt you, Ian. I'm going to send it. I got something quick to say. I'm going to send it right back to you. But when I see Dennis Schroeder and I look at this Boston Celtics team, right, I see a guy that is going to be a point guard that doesn't need to score the ball to have a good game, which is huge for the Celtics club. And Ian, I want to hear what you got.
Yeah, so I kind of wanted to start off my thing about Dennis Schroeder was thinking about all the people, like even when I posted a video about Dennis Schroeder signing with the Celtics, I was really excited for when we signed him. But I saw a lot of people like doubting the move and saying like, oh, he's not that good and yada, yada. Like, I mean, he's a really, really good player. And
it's funny how the narrative changes in just a year, right?
It's insane. And like, I know, he turned down $84 million. He wasn't going to get the $120 million he asked for. But at the same time, to get a guy who has been proven in the league, he's going to be the veteran presence the Celtics have lacked over the past few years. I have a feeling he's going to be what Jeff Teague was supposed to be last year. When we signed Jeff Teague, everyone thought, he was going to be a good veteran presence off the bench. But Schroeder,
I think Schroeder's going to give you real production, though, like 15 points, 8 assists. Like, I think he's going to be like a real big piece. I mean, maybe even our third scoring option next year.
No, definitely. I feel like he will. But I feel like it's also going to be important for the Celtics team to have a guy like Dennis Schroeder in the first place.
For sure. Yeah.
If we had Dennis Schroeder on the team last year, like, I don't know how much better we would have been, but I feel like we would have been a lot better with him than without him. Yeah. So, honestly, I'm really excited to see Dennis Schroeder this season, and I feel like he has something to prove after everyone clowning on him all off season long. So
you talk about, if he was on this team this year, how like if it would be better or worse. And, something I've been seeing a lot, obviously we all have, Instagram or social media guys, right? So we're on it a lot. Something I've been noticing is that the people are just assuming the Boston Celtics got worse this offseason, which doesn't make any sense to me because last season the narrative was the Boston Celtics need to get rid of Kemba Walker. The Boston Celtics, right, need to find defense. Right, that's what people were saying about us. So now Brad Stevens, who we are going to talk about on how his, how well he's been doing this offseason, right? He goes out, he dumps Kemba Walker, clears his cap, picks up a big time piece in Al Horford, defense veteran, big, average Al's back in Boston, right? He now, instead of losing Fournier, he goes and trades for a guy like Josh Richardson. Oh my gosh, it's going to be like that all year. Josh Richardson, who is 13 points per game on great defense, right? Evan Fournier gave us 11 points per game in green last year, mind you guys, 11. Right? And then he goes and signs Dennis Schroeder to replace Kemba Walker. Like, in my mind, we completely got better. And I know people on paper, you might be like, I disagree, but I'm about to shut all of those haters up because listen here, the Boston Celtics, right, will be a top 3 defensive team in the league. They will. Everyone who steps on the court is going to play defense. And Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum have proven they can lead a team. They have proven they can score at high levels. And guess what? Their responsibility next year is to score, to win games. And Emi has been talking about all the time how there is, he's got so many ways to make these two guys better. He taught Kawhi Leonard how to win under Pop, right? So there's not a doubt in my mind that this Boston Celtics team got worse. I think that is completely ridiculous to see the Boston Celtics at anything below the 5 seed, in my opinion. I think the Celtics are going to come out there and just like in 2016, just like in 2017, they're going to play great defense every single night. And guess what? On offense, you're going to have to stop Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. That's not happening.
Yeah. I
have nothing to say. I mean, preach.
I just dropped the mic right there. I mean, I was a rant because
we should just move on to the next topic because you literally took the words.
Pretty much. So
I had to make a public service announcement. I did because I'm reading these. I just got. I don't even want to get into it. All right.
By the way, topic. I just want to say for the deleted episode that never came out that we shot, Rob and I. That literally was the whole episode. So if you guys like that, you can go and attack Rob because that episode is gone. But no, seriously, we had a good Rob? A good 45 to 50-minute episode of just
going in. Yeah.
Just it was very emotional. Like it was like, yeah, but I agree. I mean, it's funny how all of a sudden we changed the narrative and it's somehow the same narrative. We still suck. We still are in a terrible position. We still didn't do what we were supposed to do. But yet, 2 months ago, it was get rid of Kemba. You got to get depth. You got to get depth. You can't rely on these rookies.
Somehow the Knicks add Kemba Walker. Next thing you know, they're a 3 seed.
Yeah.
Excuse me?
It makes no sense. It honestly really doesn't make any sense because if you think about it, just because the Celtics didn't go after a high-profile player, like
they built a winning
even though
roster.
they didn't trade for Bradley Beal or Damian Lillard. Like they're still a really, really good defensive team. And
yeah,
I agree with you guys. I really don't understand how people thought
I have a question. I have a question, and people might call me crazy. But do you think the way the Celtics roster, and it just came up to me, right? Do you think the way the Celtics roster is built and constructed is not identical to maybe Milwaukee's? Because hear me out. Because think about it, their point guards are 2 guys who offensively aren't usually, going to give you 20 every night, but can. Their mainly focus is defense and playmaking, right? Their number 2 scoring option, Chris Middleton and Jaylen Brown, right? I think Brown's better than Middleton personally. That's a conversation for a different day. Do you think the way that the Celtics have kind of built this defensive and constructive roster around Jason and Jaylen's kind of like the Bucks?
Yeah, yes and no. I definitely see where that's coming from. I think we match up particularly well against the Bucks, but who knows? I don't know. I don't know what people want the Celtics to do in a way because we went out and we got depth.
We got defense.
When's the last
Exactly.
time we had a good defensive point guard since Rajon Rondo, right? As much as we
Pretty
love,
much, yeah.
the production of Isaiah, Kyrie, Kemba, great offensive players, but when they weren't hitting shots, they weren't giving you anything. They weren't running down and giving you defense. I mean, Kemba here and there, but Christ, he barely played.
And guess
you
what?
know,
Yeah. Well,
Historically speaking, there's been I'd say 2 instances, right, where the point guard's been the best player on a championship team, right? 2015 Warriors and the 89 and 90 Detroit Pistons, right? And you could argue Chauncey Billups, but Billups was a big point guard, and that team was, an exception to all rules. They really didn't even have an all-star on that team, so it was like that was unprecedented. But that brings us to our next topic, right? Which is, what would you grade Brad Stevens' first offseason with the Boston Celtics? And I'm literally just talking like A+, A-. Like, how would you grade it?
honestly, I thought about it. I think I'd probably give it a B+ to an A- around there.
Yeah.
He had, we have to think about this. We didn't even have a rest time before it immediately switched that Danny Ainge was fired, Brad Stevens was coming in, and now we don't have a head coach. So for Brad Stevens to come in with everything that he's had to deal with, he got left a pretty crappy hand, and I feel like he did the best job that he possibly could have done. He moved on from Kemba Walker. We got Al Horford. He signed defensive guards, which the Celtics have been lacking for a long time. And I mean, they surrounded Jason and Jalen with guys that are legitimate NBA players and not just draft picks. So honestly, I would give it a B+ to an A-, and that's pretty much my grade for him.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not trying to be biased because you guys really know I like Brad. But I give it like an A. I mean, a solid A. Not anything more, not anything less. Brad did what he needed to do. There's super teams being built around the league. I don't know, and actually I do know, adding a Bradley Beal to this would have not made us a championship team, because guess what? I've said this so many times. Out of those 3 players between Brown, Bradley Beal, and Tatum, you're not going to have anyone. You might not even have Jaylen Brown by the end of that trade. I think, like Ian said, Brad Stevens did the best possible job he could have done. He got rid of Kemba's contract. Look at what he came into. It was a disaster.
Danny Ainge left us.
Danny
Ainge did not. Yeah, I agree.
And people who hate on the Celtics and hate on what they're doing don't understand their situation. They don't research it. They don't talk about it. They don't look at it in a way. They just find a way to hate on it. And for what Brad Stevens has done, really, really turned this franchise around in a way, because last season we went 500 last season. After an 8-3 start, we looked like we were somewhat a championship team. We went 500 and barely got out of the play-in tournament.
Yeah.
So for Brad Stevens to come in, get veterans, get bench players, get defensive players, fill in those holes, he did a hell of a job. Hell of a job. A+, not A+. I shouldn't have said that. Just A right there.
So I honestly, I have 2 sides to this, right? Part of me said, if you were to ask before the Dennis Schroeder signing, I'd say B-, right? Because he worked on cap flexibility for the year prior, but Justin and I were always saying, and even Ian agreed with us, was you always got to build, you always got to be a competitive team right now, right? That's always what's important. The Celtics can't prepare for the future. But then we signed Schroeder. And then I was thinking about it, and I said, well, he completely revamped this defense. I think Josh Richardson, people are overlooking him on Boston. I think he's going to be huge for us. That's a starter now. He's a starter caliber player, always have been, now coming off the bench. I think Schroeder's big. I think, honestly, Chris Dunn trade, dumping Thompson and getting Chris Dunn was also nice, right? That's a defensive guard. Like I said, cap flexibility. He brought in Damian Stoudemire to assistant Ime Udoka, who was a fan favorite, a player favorite too. He really was given an awful situation by Danny Ainge, who was ready to give up on the Celtics. So honestly, I want to say A+. right? But I can't because everyone's gonna be like, "Oh, you're a Celtics fan. Of course, you're gonna say a plus." So I'm gonna say A minus, right?
Yeah.
Because, like I said, he could have done a little bit better, right? I think he could have gotten some more talent, right? He pushed harder for Lonzo Ball, maybe, right? But for the time being, I think he did a solid job. I think he did a great job between cap, between head coach, between talent, between fixing our problems. I think he nailed all of them.
Yeah, and if you think about it, and if the Celtics, let's just say by the trade deadline, the Celtics aren't a really good team. You now have guys who are assets that you can trade for potential picks and potential players down the road.
And guess what? They're all on 1-year deals. They're all
and
on
that was
1-year
more
deals.
than what Danny Ainge had because Danny Ainge didn't have any assets at all.
No, he lost all of them. Walked for free. He lost all of his assets between Rozier, Hayward. But are you kidding me? He let Kyrie walk for free. Oh my! All right, that next segment before I go on another rant. This is a fun one. I think this will be actually kind of fun. If you're listening in, honestly, join in. Go on to our Instagram comment section and go let us know what you thought of this. You'll see the post. It's called "Who Should We Start?" because there's been a lot of conversation as to who should be in this starting lineup. I'm gonna list off of 2 players head to head, and you guys tell me who should start, right? And I'm gonna let both of you answer why, whether you disagree or not. I think it could be fun. So, first one, my opinion is honestly the biggest one. Who should start? Al Horford versus Robert Williams.
I'll let you take that one, Ian.
Come on, Justin.
It's tough, right? It's tough.
It is a really, really hard choice, and I've thought about it for a long time. But if I'm being completely honest, I think they're going to start Al. And the only reason why I say they're going to start Al is I think Robert Williams with the guys we have works better off the bench. I don't know. It's hard. It's
I don't know.
Really hard.
I don't know. Because, Ian, we had a really good record with Robert Williams in the starting lineup. I feel like that's when he was playing his best basketball, though. I mean, look at that Brooklyn game 1.
9 blocks, yeah.
9 blocks. He had a career game.
About it, how good will Al be off the bench? That's my only concern is because I don't know. What we could do is we could have Al Horford starting, but we could have Robert Williams play more minutes. And like I said, it's hard, but I feel like the only thing is I don't know how Al is going to do off the bench.
Exactly. That's big. You got to look at that.
Rob has been off the bench before, so.
But is Rob Will getting to a point in his career where he's not a bench player anymore? This guy's like a starter,
kind of like Terry Rozier, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, but at the same time,
you don't want to piss him off either.
90% of the time at this point.
That's also true.
That's the thing. We don't have a legitimate. We can't legitimately say that Robert Williams is going to be healthy all of this time.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why
true.
I think he should be off the bench.
I think it depends on the matchup, right? Like if we were playing a Brooklyn, who's obviously a very more fast-paced team, they're a lot smaller. I think you go Robert Williams. If you
but
play,
Horford can defend. He's always been
no.
I'm
not saying he can't.
I know, but I'm saying
if you
it's
play,
tough.
And
tough.
And then if you play a Brooklyn or not a Brooklyn, excuse me, if you play a Milwaukee, who's fairly larger in size, as well as a team that stretches the floor, then maybe you bring in Al Horford because I think Horford and Lopez match up well. They can both run the floor, space out the floor. Yeah, so it depends.
I'm going to go to the next one, but real quick, that's a good point. Al Horford can shoot the 3 pretty well, a lot better than Robert Williams, so we'll see.
And then same thing with Joel Embiid. I just want to add real quick. Al Horford and Joel Embiid,
Well, that brings us to our next. Like we said, we could talk about each one of these all day, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we're gonna go a little quick pace. Next one, right? So there's been talks. Ime Udoka has been saying how he wants to get Smart the ball, put the ball in his Smart's hands, let him facilitate. So who should start, Marcus Smart or Dennis Schroeder at point guard?
You can take this one, Justin.
Ooh. You're lucky we're on camera, or else you would have gotten the middle finger.
Hey, that's what you get for doing the last one.
I don't like the ball in Marcus Smart's hands as much as everyone else likes the ball in Marcus Smart's hands. I agree. I think he turns the ball over a lot.
Definitely.
He's a very fast-paced, energetic player. I think that's why he turns the ball over a lot. He tries to do too much. I think if it's me, my opinion, I'm putting the ball in Dennis Schroeder's hands. He's known for other than his defense, he's known for his playmaking.
I completely forgot to ask for last one. Who you guys gonna give me an answer? So Ian, who are you starting?
Oh, I said L.
Al, and then Justin, you're starting. You gotta give me one.
I'm
5 seconds.
I'm starting
5,
Robert Williams.
4.
Robert Williams. But my final
right.
answer is I don't care how long you want my answer to be or short. My final answer is whatever the hell the matchup is.
Yeah.
Well, come on. You can't blame me though. You can't.
I
blame
can't
me.
blame.
No,
I can't.
It's hard.
We just need it. It's part of the segment. We need an answer.
Yeah, that's my segment answer right there. Right there. It depends on the damn matchup.
Okay. All right. Next one. So continue with your smart Schroeder.
I'm starting Schroeder at point guard.
Okay. And what about you, Ian? I agree. In case you wanted to know.
Okay. All right, Justin.
I agree.
I'm not going to be a
Schroeder.
contrarian this entire show. I completely agree with you.
Although if you want to, that gets us some good views.
True, and we can clip it and we can go viral that way. But still, at the same time, I agree with you. I would much rather have Dennis Schroeder handling the ball over Marcus Smart. But I will say, Marcus Smart and Jaylen Brown had like one of the best things where it was like, one player passing to another player. So, like, I'm not 100% against Marcus Smart handling the ball, but at the same time, I think I would start Schroeder at point guard.
All right. I don't know if you guys could see me. I was looking over there. My sister walked up. Sorry about that. So that's the downside. That's the downside of having the YouTube being on YouTube is because when you're off camera, it's so easy. All right, next one though. I agree. Dennis Schroeder. I'm starting him. I'm also starting Robert Williams because that's my boy. Next one. Yes. Who are you starting? Dennis Schroeder or
another one?
Josh Richardson.
I'm starting Dennis Schroeder because it's for the same reason as Marcus Smart. I don't want the ball in Marcus Smart's hands. I don't want the ball in Josh Richardson's hands. So if you put Josh Richardson in instead of Schroeder, that most likely puts Smart at ball handler. Although that'd be a killer defensive lineup, neither of the two, in my opinion, can handle the ball well.
But what if Emi comes out and says Smart's our primary ball handler? Who do you want starting?
Are you talking about like for the 2 guard?
Yeah, at the 2 guard. So I'm saying like Emi's game plan is have Marcus Smart play the point.
Oh, okay. If we literally have no choice and it's Marcus Smart at point guard, who are we starting at shooting guard?
Who would you rather start? Or who would you rather start? Richardson or Schroeder? Just in general. Let's say just in general.
Schroeder.
All right, Ian. Schroeder. All right. Next one. This is gonna be fun. All right, Josh Richardson or Aaron Nesmith?
Oh, come on. Come on, dude. You can't put my boy Dude, if Nesmith keeps playing the way he's playing, I swear to God, he will get in the starting lineup. If he plays
hold up. I don't think it's completely crazy to start Nesmith because I think Richardson, what he gives you off the bench, is so irreplaceable. As no other team has that. And Nesmith will play better with Brown and Tatum.
But a question I have, I know this is a quick segment, so I'm going to say it quick, but thing I have, Nesmith provides great offense. You still don't have the best offense off the bench. So if you start Richardson and you add in that defense next to Tatum and Brown, when those two go to the bench, Nesmith comes in, he provides you that offense. So, it could go. Yeah. I go Richardson.
In my opinion, personally, I don't see Nesmith or Richardson starting at least to begin the season.
Yeah,
but if I had to choose one in the starting lineup, I think I would probably go with Nesmith, only because I feel like Nesmith would fit better in a starting lineup with Tatum and Brown. Mm-hmm. So I think I'm going to say Nesmith.
Last one before we head off to our Eastern Conference predictions.
Tatum or Grant?
Grant.
Peyton Pritchard or Marcus Smart at the point guard slot.
Peyton Pritchard, bro.
You want to start
Pritchard for sure.
So Smart can start a shooting guard.
No, all right, but can Smart
who would you rather start? All right.
Yes, I'd rather start Pritchard, and I can start Smart, and I can start Smart at shooting guard. That's what I'm doing. You're asking me who I would start over. I'd start Peyton Pritchard over Marcus Smart at point guard. Shift Marcus Smart over to
but you can't
shooting
you can't move Smart to shooting guard because it's who would you rather? So they're starting over each other.
So
Would you
wait,
rather
so
start Pritchard or Smart?
So if Pritchard,
One goes to the bench.
So who's starting as shooting guard?
Josh Richardson, we'll say. It's who you gotta send one to the bench and one starting. Who are you starting?
Right,
Smart or Pritchard?
If it's that way, then I feel like Pritchard would have to come off the bench.
Yeah, I mean, if it's that way, but if I can
put Smart on the bench.
Okay, next segment. This is a fun one. All right, next segment because apparently that one is just too hard for us to answer. Next one, I wrote an article on the Celtics Talk Weekly. Our website. If you haven't gone to check it out, go check it out. There's we got some great writers who put stuff up there. And I decided it'd be fun if I wrote one. And I made my way too early Eastern Conference predictions. I'm not gonna say mine. You're gonna have to go read it if you want to hear it. But I want Justin and Ian. I'm gonna go down, right? 1 seed, you guys give me your answer. 2 seed, you guys give me your answer. Oh my god, Justin just bop. There we go. You good?
Damn,
I'm good. It said you guys. You guys are frozen.
Either. Oh, all right. So, did you hear what we're doing?
No, what?
Okay, so you saw my way too early article I wrote. I told them to go check it out. But we're going to do our Eastern Conference way too early predictions. I go down 1 seed. You guys give me your answer. 2 seed. You guys give me your answer.
All right.
This is going to go exactly how the last segment went.
All right,
so here we go.
Come on. Okay. Hold up. I got to write these down so I can make fun of you guys when they suck next year. Okay. So, number 1.
All right.
1 seed, Justin. Who do you have?
Nets.
So, you guys both have the Nets, really?
Okay. Oh, who do you have?
If they're
Cleveland?
I got Bucks.
Knicks.
2 seed. Yeah. 2 seed. Justin, who do you got?
Bucks.
So you guys
Dude, is this kid going to copy me the whole damn time?
3
I don't know,
seed.
Justin, maybe.
3 seed. Justin, who do you got?
Celtics.
76ers.
Ooh, that's a hot take. I don't like that one. I don't like that one. But we're gonna get into it. It's gonna be, all right. So, 4 seed. We're gonna talk why. 4 seed.
Bulls.
Celtics.
Okay, I can see C's at 4. Okay, 5 seed.
I forgot who I picked.
So you have all right. So we'll do a quick recap because we're halfway through. We got Justin and Ian both have Nets, both have Bucks. Justin, you have Celtics at 3. Ian, you have Sixers at 3. Justin, you have Bulls at 4. Ian, you have Celtics at 4.
All right, I'm going to say mine so Justin can't say that I'm copying him. I have Atlanta at 5.
ATL, okay.
I have Atlanta at 5.
You guys both have Atlanta. Okay, 6.
Sixers.
Sixers at 6. So wow, you really don't have faith in the Heat. You got Heat.
Actually, I said Miami at 6, but I was
no. Put Miami instead of the Hawks. Switch Miami and Hawks around. Put Miami. Put
at
Miami.
7? So you want Miami at 5, Atlanta at 7.
Yes.
Yeah, I got Miami at 6. And then
ATO. And then who do you have at 7?
Chicago. The Bulls.
Ooh, okay. Honestly, I like all right. Next one.
I have Charlotte at 8.
Charlotte. Oh, really? Not the Knicks. The Knicks aren't making a top. Okay. Charlotte.
Do we not have a website anymore?
We do.
I'm
on it right now.
Okay. No, I'm just looking for yours. Who do I have at? What am I on right now, Rob?
You're on 8. So you got teams like the Knicks, the Hornets.
Knicks.
You got Knicks at 8.
Knicks
okay,
at 8.
so I'm gonna read. All right. So now I'll say mine too, but I'm gonna go through everyone's. So Justin has.
We doing the play-in?
Oh, do you guys want it? We can put the play-in.
Yeah, let's read back the playoff brackets first, and then we'll do a play-in bracket.
Okay, so I didn't have a play-in, so I'll put mine in. All right, so Justin, he's got the Nets at the 1 seed, the Bucks at the 2 seed, the Celtics at the 3 seed, the Bulls at the 4 seed, Heat at 5, Sixers at 6, Atlanta at 7, Knicks at 8. Ian has the Nets at 1, Bucks 2, Sixers 3, C's 4, Hawks 5, Heat 6, Bulls 7, Hornets 8. I
just don't know if I see Sixers that high.
I had hold up, I gotta grab mine. I had Bucks at 1, Nets at 2, Celtics at 3, Bulls at 4, Heat at 5, Hawks at 6, Sixers at 7, Knicks at 8.
So I think all of us had relatively similar.
But honestly though, Ian had a Bulls at 7, and the more I think about it, the more I might want to switch Chicago and Philly. Because
I kind of agree because Sixers do have more depth.
But
that's what I'm saying.
Philly has yet to find a trade partner for Ben Simmons. Simmons has already said, like, listen, I'm not playing for Philly. If you don't trade me, like, you guys got to trade me because I'm not playing for the Sixers. So they might have to settle for something pretty cheap. Right?
Well, don't forget. This is wicked early predictions. We're gonna do once these rosters are finalized.
We'll do. I'm probably wrong, right? Like that's not how it's gonna finish. But if I had to predict it, this is how I'd predict it. So we'll get into our play-ins at 9. Justin, who do you have?
I have Charlotte.
Hornets.
Yep.
You have Knicks. Justin.
Yeah, I have the Knicks.
I'm sorry, Ian.
Yeah, I have the Knicks at 9.
All right, and then I'm gonna put the Hornets at 9, and then at 10, who do you guys have?
Who's left? If I'm being completely
I'm literally
honest.
looking up the Eastern Conference.
I have Toronto.
Toronto. Oh, okay.
Ooh, wow.
Toronto. I honestly like that.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Let's see. Raptors, Pacers, Cleveland, Orlando, Pistons, Wizards. Oh, I got Wizards. At 10.
Even without Westbrook.
Yeah, I think Dinwiddie will give them enough throughout the regular season to earn them a playoff spot.
Oh, I forgot they had Dinwiddie.
Put Hornets at 9, Wizards at 10 for me, and then how many play-in spots are left? 1, right?
Nothing.
Nothing. Oh yeah, that's right. Because it's 7 to 10. That's 7 to 10, right? Okay, yeah. That's a good pick, the Raptors. Wow.
So here we go. We got
Raptors
Ian.
My sneaky pick to get there.
We got Ian having the Nets, the Bucks, the Sixers, the Celtics, the Hawks, the Heat, the Bulls, the Hornets, the Knicks, and the Raptors. Justin, Nets, Bucks, Celtics, Bulls, Heat, Sixers, Hawks, Knicks, Hornets, Wizards. I have Bucks, Nets, Celtics, Bulls, Heat, Hawks, Sixers, Knicks, Hornets, Wizards.
I don't think either of us three are like terribly off in the sense the order might be different, but I don't know if I see teams like Magic and Cavaliers and Pistons making a run for the play-in.
I think it's obvious to see the teams that won't make it.
Yeah, we have those down. So I think my biggest question mark team, I'd say, is the Sixers.
Yeah,
because I think if they get the right trade for Simmons, they could jump up to 2, right? If they can find the right, they could be 2.
If they can find the right guy to put next to Embiid,
exactly. So
it's going to be really hard to stop the Sixers.
But I think if Simmons stays, they stay where they are at 6.
Exactly, because I think if Simmons stays, this is the season where it implodes, where and they're gonna have to make a deadline move. So if Philly can make a trade, I think they're dangerous. They go up to 2, and they got a shot at the East. If they don't make a trade, I think they're gonna sit right around 5, 6, 7.
Yeah, but if you think about it, even if they keep Ben Simmons and they fix their relationship, I mean, weren't the Sixers? The Sixers were the number 1 team last year. Yeah. So I mean,
I think they
downgraded a backup center. I think
got better. The East got better, and my thing is that listen, a 6 seed, right? The 6 seed could could beat the 3 seed in the first round because the East is really deep. So yeah, I could see a 4 seed going to the NBA Finals. I could see, like, obviously my favorite's the Brooklyn Nets, but if they're not healthy, you don't know what the East is going to hold because there's a lot of talent in the East right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is for the first time in a long time where, like, I feel like the East is super ultra competitive.
It is, but in the same time, it's not because the Nets are around. If Brooklyn wasn't around, I'd say I have no clue who's coming out of the East.
Did you guys
But
think
we still have
Brad?
Milwaukee.
Go ahead.
Oh, no, sorry, you can go.
Do you guys think Brad Stevens had any idea, like had a feeling almost like a little like the East is gonna, like, I just have a feeling the East is gonna give it so much better. Let me build this team, or let me build this team defensively, because last year the East was not that strong, and we just couldn't get it done with you know what I mean? Do you think he knew, had a feeling that the East was gonna get better?
I think he did.
Brad's a smart guy. I feel like he definitely knew.
Yeah. And like I said, that's what separates teams like us, the Bucks, and even the Sixers. The Sixers play some great defense. It's a reason why they're the 1 seed. Offensively, they couldn't get it to work, and that's what ultimately led to their bounce in Game 7 versus the Hawks. Simmons couldn't figure it out. Their offense couldn't get going, and Embiid can only do so much. You look at the Celtics squad; they got a lot of defense. So, we'll see. It's going to be a really entertaining season, but like I said, we have reached our cap mark of the podcast. Although the Celtics Talk Weekly, we've already informed the winner of our jersey giveaway we did, but we haven't formally announced it. So I'm going to announce it right now. He already knows he won. So the winner of the jersey giveaway is Dallas Elite Bullies. He has won. What has he requested? A Marcus Smart. He's getting a Marcus Smart jersey. Good thing that Smart's sticking around. So, congratulations to you, Dallas.
Go to the Celtics team story. That'll be pretty good. Congratulations.
Yeah. So, he won the jersey giveaway. I say it every episode to start. I say it to end. If you're not following us,
it gets kind of annoying, Rob.
Go follow us on our social medias. We are 8 away from the big 600. Like I said last time, we recorded a podcast. We weren't even at 350. So I'm guessing we got a lot of new listeners. I hope you enjoyed this episode. We're gonna be
make sure you save it this time, Rob.
Yeah, I gotta save it. As the season approaches, there's gonna be a lot more episodes, a lot more consistent. I'm Rob. That's Ian. That's Justin.
Peace out, guys.